Hello, my name is Ben Keat, and I'm just making a short video to describe the relationships between ENA and the rest of the world. ENA has several satellites on the planet, arranged like a moon in three phases as the first satellite, and then subsequent moons at further disparity from the center until the final moon, which reaches the realm of South Africa, and possibly in the North Pole. There is a decision to be made as to how many of Nibiru's moons we are going to use to go around ENA, but it is my decision possibly 7 will be enough rather than the full 9. However, this is adequate for the process we're going to put in place. And as the circumference gets greater in the orbit of these moons around ENA, be they elliptical or be they in perfect symmetry, perfect circle around ENA, what these orbits shall be is in phases, depending on how many phases we can fit into the width of the circumference or the radius from ENA. As the radius gets larger, naturally, there will be more phases of these moons, provided they hit land or at least an island where we can develop a phase of ENA's Commonwealth. So, from the east to the west and all over the world, ENA will have an effect. And not only does it require practices to be created at the Academy in order to develop these phases of moon practices on Earth as physical areas that can be attributed as realms of ENA's EXOR, exterior arc web. That when the business idea or the business model is taken abroad to other parts of the world or the country that we live in, because certainly the closer moons will have phases within our own country, Britain. But as they get taken abroad and further afield, it'll have to be decided how these business models or business practices become the core central, like the Academy will be and the university will be for ENA. That the original practice will develop the whole process of setting up a possible charity life arc web EXOR program to develop its own city, realm, and state within a foreign country. And I can't say clearly enough how important it is that every senior that is created in ENA, if it doesn't happen in the first phase of ENA, at some level in the future of the development of the processes of the different levels of heaven, some and all of these practices will become states in their own right for a future diagram of what heaven shall be all over the earth. Now, if you don't believe in heaven and you don't believe in the long haul and you don't believe in the future, don't worry about it. Because if it makes business sense in the first place, and like I said on the last video, as we develop ENA, as we create ENA, we create it through the business. practice networks. The existing practices, they create seniors, and more seniors come through. And it is imperative that we have more seniors as they develop. But as ENA progresses, we have more practices creating the overall picture of ENA. And ultimately, as the network becomes bigger of the practices inside ENA, something will shift to make ENA come either in its physicality or its entrepreneurial sense, like a second Silicon Valley, a creative hotbed in the existing legal infrastructure that we live in the Cotswolds. And even if that's not a good enough vision for you, let me tell you that the plan goes a lot higher than just the existing legal infrastructure. And if the original practice itself, which I've created, UMOSRIS, SAFCOMS, the RDLJM Academy, and all other attributes connected with the central practice, if that becomes a LOD, then the fact is the whole program will etherically change and develop into a super reality above the norm with no limit, no cap, where anything can happen.